Okay. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah.
I wasn't quite sure of what was expected and what was entailed for us to do here on this trip to South Africa. So I think that was kind of set the way it was supposed to be, to make it quite free, to make it quite organic, in a way where we can just be ourselves, because we came here wanting to give love and help and to see stuff for ourselves. So how I see it, we've come here, we've seen firsthand where the Dance Aid charity money is spent, which is great, because then I can now talk to people in England and talk about it rather than seeing it on a video or rather than reading about it. I've experienced it, I've seen it, I've felt it, I've smelt it, I've touched it, the experience here.
Started a little later, which was actually super nice because we got to spend a bit of time with the family that are hosting us, letting us stay here. We haven't had that much, because we've been so busy, we haven't had that much time to spend with them, but we all just got up, we brought the speaker outside, which Palessa really likes, and we were just doing some dancing, and that got all the family outside. We bought some like ballet scarves and like ribbons and things, and we gave it to the girls and they were all dancing around. And it was strange because there was a group of schoolgirls which just came in through the gate into the house, and they were just sort of standing and watching, but it was nice to give the girls here some of our time and like play with them and stuff, which was really, really cool, because they've done so much for us, so that was really nice.
The host family, it's been amazing that we've had this experience. Definitely, if I stayed in a hotel, or if I'd stayed in external conditions rather than being in it, I would not have experienced it in this way at all. I genuinely know now what it feels like. I mean, they're not poverty, but they're below and it's what an amazing thing that I've first-hand experience. I mean, we can't speak their language, but we've still managed to communicate. We feel it's incredible. It really is. These things like watching them prep their food and him chop the wood, and then they cooked outside, so we could use the.
I think they often cook outside though.
Oh, do is that?
That's what that room's for.
That's how they.
Because you don't have to have electricity.
I was asking about them. What do you? Well, we eat the chicken. So when? And we were discussing it for a while, and then they were like, well, when it's big. There's genuine love between us guys and the family. A lot of times we were talking about this. A lot of times, it didn't feel like we were really here. It felt, because you see it on TV, and then you see, for want of a better word, poverty-stricken children on TV. And we were in this environment quite a few times, and I really just had to go, this is happening now, I'm in it. This isn't a movie set, this isn't a non-reality, this is happening right now. And it's a very out-of-body experience, because it's probably hard for your brain to accept, maybe, or you're so used to seeing it in the media, and actually seeing it live is it takes a while for that to digest. I think for me personally, I know some of the other people here have thought that too. So it's seeing what this place needs, because I feel that they're almost forgotten, feel like they're left behind, because this country at the moment, what I've seen, I like to call it it's a bit chessboardy, in the sense of you've got this new modern influx of things coming in, and you've still got these really old traditional values and a lot of deprived places, and it's this juxtaposition. But you've got like a modern road sign, then you've got this like shanty town, and you've got these modern supermarkets, really nice food, then you've got rice and stew eating with your hands, you've got really old cars, and you've got these modern cars, and it's just the whole time, and they're not like one area or another, they're next door to each other. You've got people just living by eating their chickens, running around. Oh, fancy a chicken tonight? Eat your chicken, cooking live fire outside. Then you've got this new 2-story house. So it's in that changing period. But with having said that, you've got these other places being left behind. I get it, because you've got this influx of wealth coming in, and with that, you've got these people being left behind who don't have the education, don't have the paperwork, don't have the documents, education, knowledge to see their way through. Which isn't okay for adults, but it's really not okay for children, because the children don't have a choice. The children that don't have options, and it's not their fault. So I think with this charity, it's helping the most vulnerable, the ones that have no options. They don't have a choice, and my experience, they've been innocent, they've been beautiful, just like kids at home. But we know, as we're playing with them, that they really don't have a future. There's no system in place to look after them, and reality is it will go down to drugs and alcohol, having babies at a very young age, 9, 10, 11, 12, non-educated, people trafficking, big families, and that cycle just keeps going on and on and on. So Dance Aid is almost trying to break this cycle, which will take time. But I think that's what's happening. That's what we're trying to do.
What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
1 o'clock.
No.
3, 4. What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
2 o'clock.
1, 2. What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
1 o'clock.
1. What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
1 o'clock.
What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
10
Being a teacher myself now, it was very eye-opening to see how the other teachers cope here in their situations, and amazing. So let me elaborate on that. I mean, unfortunately we couldn't see their teaching, but we could see their compassion for the kids, and they've got nothing. Like one scenario, we're talking a dirt field and a stoned half-finished building, and a bucket for the boys to pee in, and a bit of ground for the girls, minimal food, and the kids were all responding well with the teachers. They had good interaction, they were polite, they waited their turn, they weren't talking, they had all these really good social skills, and that's a direct result from the teachers. So even though we didn't see them teach, we could see their work, which means they're doing a good job, which means they care about what they're doing. It means it's working. It definitely means it's working, and there isn't many teachers per pupil, so to be able to do what they do in those situations, and they probably don't have much themselves either, so it definitely comes from a love and a compassionate point of view, and after seeing these scenarios, I would definitely reflect how that's going to change. I'm definitely going to use that, how it's going to change my teaching. I'm going to use not just that, but these experiences, the response from the adults, from the children, from the experiences. It's hard not to go, hey, look at me, I've been to Africa, they've got nothing, you've got everything. It's not about doing that, it's about educating. It's not students or kids' fault at home who have a lot of things. It's not their fault that they've got all that and they behave in that manner. So, but there's a way of making them appreciate what they have without saying, hey, look at me, I've done this. And I think it'd be important to do so. I think it's important to do so. So, with a broad stroke, a couple of the biggest problems with, or things to work on, would probably be traditions are quite hard to understand and break. This is how we do. So, and a couple of things that I've found out from first hand, as in spoken to from people involved with this, is marriage is still quite traditional, as in cattle, and is still used to give to each one of the families. So it's almost buying in a way. There's a bit of purchase thing going on there because it's negotiated. Whether that's right or wrong, it's not for me to say. There's young marriage, and girls, it's quite normal for them to be pregnant at 12, 13. That's not really frowned upon. I was chatting to one guy when he felt comfortable to speak to me, was talk about how it's quite normal for girls to have, say, 3 or 4 abortions before they're 15, and then maybe have the kid at 15. So that's quite a common thing to have here. Because as far as they're concerned, which goes back to the menstrual cycle and the period, when the girls had their period, then why can't they have a baby? And traditionally that's been acceptable, and that's what they've done. The girl's not educated, she can't make her own choice. So I don't think it's right for us to tell them what to do, but I think it's right for them to have an option. And also the males as well, like the males, the men in this culture, it's that's how it's done, that's how it's always been done, you know, and that's been accepted. But in this day and age, you've got AIDS, you've got other sexual diseases, you've got big families. It seems like, to me, the average is about 8 at the moment. A few people I've spoke to, it seems like 8 is the norm. So when the family has no money, you've got 8 kids to bring up, which obviously costs money, no education. So it's almost breaking that cycle. So for me, one of the things that could help this community is education, awareness of health, where sexual health comes into it. Like it's okay to use contraception, I suppose. We didn't want to come as, hey, look at us, we're so great, we've come to save the day. You know, I think we were all very mindful of that, and it's not about that. I might be using the wrong words now, but it's not like, hey, white people come down, save black people, you know, and we were all really, really cautious of that. Because maybe they might have had experiences with different races that haven't treated them so well. So we're almost representing that, and you know, and I'm not just saying that, because walking around the whole place, we definitely stand out. I asked a lot of people, you know, they're shocked to see us here, and it's not in a bad way, but as in it's unusual, you know. So we have to behave respectfully with that, you know. Kids were just like normal kids after a while. I like the fact they were a bit shy at first as well, which was quite nice, because rightly so, we're strangers, you know. So I quite liked that process. And then after a while, they just warm. They wanted to sing for us, they wanted to dance for us, you know. They were asking us questions, playing with us, you know, just really, really comfortable, happy and genuinely smiling when they don't have much. You know, they really don't have much, and what they do have is a love and a warmth and a humanity that I haven't seen before.
The angels bow before Him, worship and adore Him. What a mighty God we serve. What a mighty God we serve. What a mighty God we serve. The angels bow before Him, worship and adore Him. What a mighty God we serve. Soon and very soon, soon and very soon and very, we are going to see the soon and very soon, soon and very soon and very, we are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we are going to see the King.
A couple of things that have stuck out for us is the incredible Sally. I've never met someone like that. And inspirational. And she probably wouldn't say it herself, but she doesn't do it for credit. She does it from real love, real heart, real faith, genuine faith. She almost gets embarrassed when you say how amazing she is. She doesn't want that. She does it because she really cares for these people. And, you know, and if we hadn't come here, I wouldn't have known about her. If it wasn't for Dance Aid, she wouldn't have had the funding that she needs. And she's helping people right now right now, people in this community know they can go up to that gate when they've got some trouble, say a guy's chasing a girl, or they've got nowhere to stay, and she's there open to let them in. I mean, what a beautiful thing to have. Some of these kids don't have parents, you know, and she's there for that. I mean, that's humanity. And dare I say, this is a challenging place. She's a white woman, you know, and that's not being sexist or racist. It's the fact of this area. That's a difficult thing to be.